During the Gilded Age, the rise of business industries have made them major industries due to the Second Revolution. These have caused companies to have a higher demand in steel, oil, and railroads. Around the 1860s through 1880s is when companies boomed in industry, which made industry owners billion owners and the richest people at that time. As demands grew for more warships, the steel industry grew as well. Andrew Carnegie, the founder of the steel industry, wasn't born with power and wealth. Andrew was an immigrant from Scotland, and from that, he worked his way up to the top of the business. One of his major reasons for success was to buy in bulk and produce large quantities for better sales. He acquired companies that provided materials and services so that he could sell steel at a cheaper price since he owned those companies. Later on, he sold his company for J.P. Morgan for $480 million. John Davidson Rockefeller was the king of the oil industry and was undoubtedly one of the wealthiest men in American history. Within the Gilded Age, businesses were booming and it was survival of the fittest. Rockefeller mastered the horizontal integration process, which essentially led to his Standard Oil Company to outgrow and dominate over oil businesses. In short, horizontal integration was like monopoly or trust. Rockefeller strongly believed in social Darwinism. One of his favorite quotes was, "Let us pray," to symbolize him dominating over other oil competitors. Shipping and railroad tycoon Cornelius Vanderbilt was a self-made multimillionaire who became one of the wealthiest Americans of the 19th century. He was a descendant of Dutch sailors who came to America in the mid-1600s. Before rail, he worked for a shipping company, but due to war, wasn't making much of a profit. So he started investing into rail. Since then, he extended and improved the efficiency and service of railroads. His rail traveled all the way to New York, Chicago, Cleveland, and Toledo, which he gained control over rail. Mr. Vanderbilt died at the age of 82 on January 4, 1877, at his Manhattan home, and was buried in the cemetery in New Dorp, Staten Island. He left the bulk of his fortune, estimated at more than $100 million, to his son William. An inventor and engineer, he was a very talented mechanic and often helped his father in manufacturing agricultural machinery. One of his first inventions was the rotary system steam engine, which he made at the age of 19. At 21, he created a device that helped guide derailed cars back onto the tracks. Then, after witnessing an accident due to a train not being able to stop in time, he made the railway air brake. His invention was the automatic braking system, which led to a huge decrease in railroad accidents, and his business was eventually expanded to Europe and Canada. J.P. Morgan was born in 1837 in Hartford, Connecticut, into a wealthy family. In 1861, Morgan struck out on his own and created a new bank, J.P. Morgan & Company, to coordinate the sales of stocks and bonds. He realized the importance of Rail 6 Line Incorporation. Morgan's power over American railroading extended west in 1880s when he arranged the financing for the Great Northern and Northern Pacific lines, two rival transcontinentals across the northern tier of the United States. Eventually, he invested into electricity and consolidated the steel industry, making the industry boom and making it worth billions. Carnegie, Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, Westinghouse, and J.P. Morgan were the titans of industry that had a big effect on the economy of America. Carnegie as the king of steel industry, Rockefeller as the king of the oil industry, Vanderbilt and Westinghouse as the king of rails or railroad safety, then J.P. Morgan the financing king.